Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Fatima and Ola Fashion Workshop. By so many requests, today we are showing a very interesting project. There's so many of you that brought us back and wanted to see a video, so here it is. Today we're showing you how to turn needlepoint art into a gorgeous pillow that you can have it as a beautiful memory or you can give it as a gift. So here we have the needlepoint art. It's a beautiful rocket design that it's nicely made and finished. We have the piping cord to match the red of the rocket. Right here we have the pillow insert and the backing. It's a gorgeous velvet fabric that's gonna go right on the back of it. We're not gonna use a zipper for this project just because it's more like a decorative pillow. It's not a thing that you would use every day and want to replace and wash it, but if you could, we could use one. So here's what we do. The first step is we take the whole needlepoint art. We do not cut the edges because we're gonna need that to work later. What we do is we find closely here the center of the bottom design and start from the middle of the bottom, which is exactly the center of the design, and do some basic stitching on the piping cord. Gotta be very careful with this because what we want to do is just stitch right to the very edge of our design. See, just following that line, because if you don't stitch it right, you're either gonna see white or either gonna lose a little bit of the design. So it's just so important to like stitch right on the edge of the design. So like right here where you could like mark the spot or just flip it on the other side so you'll see if you're losing the design or if you're going way too far and you're just gonna see the white. So what we do now here is we just cut a little bit the corner to give that nice curve, perfect, that we want for each and every edges of the pillow, because it's gonna have round corners. And just by cutting a little bit, but obviously not too much, yeah, just a little bit, and that's gonna help us when we stitch as well. And just like that, we're gonna go all the way around to finish the whole design. The most important thing to do is just go slowly, very focused and concentrating. Make sure that you won't see any of the white on the sides or won't lose any of the design, because then the pillow would look crooked. So just make sure that you follow this through very carefully and just go slowly on it, because you'll have a better result, that's for sure. So that's what we're doing right now. One stitch at a time, double checking always on the back or front, just making sure that you are right on that edge, because it's so important. There we go. Yeah, right on the edge there. Making sure it won't go nowhere, it won't show any weight or any, you won't lose any part of the design. See how beautiful this trim is? It matches perfectly with a rocket. Gorgeous red. And the trim is made out of the same fabric. So here's the thing, this comes in a package and it's already prepared, and it's covered with the same fabric as the back is. But if you cannot find, obviously because it's so hard to find the right matching trim, you could always get more fabric for the backing, and you could create your piping just by covering it with fabric. Just get a regular cording welt and then just cover it with fabric. So right after we did all the stitching on the side by hand, now we go onto our industrial sewing machine with a piping foot, and then we stitch. Make sure we reinforce so the design will stay in place. Just go very nicely on each and every edge, just following the curve. And also we did pre-cut the fabric there before, so it was easier to give that nice perfect rounded corner of the pillow. There we go. Into the edge with the footing part. And now we just make sure that it is a nice finish. You see we didn't lose any of the design, and on each and every side of it you don't see any of the white that was underneath. That's how you know that you did a great job, and it looks perfect. Now we just have the back side, put it So what we do is we place the back fabric face down. So the velvet plush is on the inside of this, yep, face down, and now we measure right where that cord is. So we make sure we don't make the back bigger or smaller. Obviously if you make big, it's going to be like extra fabric and loose, so you won't have a nice finish after you put the insert. And if you make small, it just won't fit the insert. It's just so easy to understand. So now we're just going to measure, see how we marked it before. After we measure that and make sure that the back would fit the front, we pin both together and we'll do the final stitching. Here we go. And then we put on the sewing machine very carefully, following the pins. Always reinforce the corners. Following the pins and also our marks that we previously made. See how we go like right on the choke mark? That's what it's supposed to, that's where the stitching is supposed to be in order to fit. Here we are, guys. This is the finished product. As you could see, all the edges are nicely done. And this is the back of it. Gorgeous velvet plush. And you won't be able to see when we finish. So we do stitch on the very bottom by hand to finish it up, and it doesn't really show. It's ready to go to its new home.